Dislike doesn't show up overnight. It creeps in silently, almost invisibly, until one day you wake up and wonder why she no longer touches you the same way, why her eyes avoid yours, why her voice sounds more like a roommate than a lover. It starts with small judgments, the kind she never says out loud. She notices when you don't keep your word, even on little things. She notices when you give more energy to your phone or the TV than to her. She notices when you talk about dreams but never take action. Each of these moments doesn't feel big, but they stack like bricks, and over the years they form a wall between you and her. And behind that wall, she begins to change how she sees you. At first, she makes excuses for you. She tells herself you're tired, stressed, or going through a phase. But when that phase becomes the new reality, excuses turn into silent resentments. And resentment is deadly in love. A woman with resentment in her heart cannot fully respect you. She can still care for you, cook for you, even lie next to you at night. But deep inside, she is pulling away. And here's what most men never realize. Once a woman feels consistent resentment, every interaction with you gets colored by it. Your jokes don't land the same. Your touch feels less exciting. Even your presence, once comforting, begins to feel heavy. Women start to dislike their husbands not because of one dramatic betrayal, but because of this slow erosion. Imagine a bucket filling drop by drop. Each broken promise, each moment of neglect, each time you avoided growth, it all adds up. And one day, her bucket is full. She doesn't yell, she doesn't warn you, she just looks at you differently. That's when you feel it, the chill in her eyes, the absence of admiration, the quiet withdrawal of affection. The practical reason is brutally simple. When you stop being someone she can look up to, she starts looking past you. And once she does, you no longer feel like her man, you feel like her burden. That's why so many men describe their wives as cold or distant, when in truth she's not cold. She's disappointed. Disappointment is the seed of dislike, and if it's not addressed, it grows into contempt. And contempt is the final nail in the coffin of intimacy. Here's the truth. No one tells men. Women are always testing you, even when they don't know they're doing it. These aren't the kind of tests you can pass with words, promises, or clever excuses. They're silent tests, measured by your actions over time. She watches how you handle stress, how you pursue your goals, how you treat her when you're tired, how you react when life doesn't go your way. She's not looking for perfection. She's looking for consistency. And when you fail these tests too many times, she doesn't argue with you. She simply recalibrates her respect. She starts to see you as smaller, weaker, less capable than she once believed. And once respect is gone, attraction collapses right behind it. This is why you'll hear women say things like, "He's not the man I married." It's not because you changed completely. It's because you stopped passing the tests that kept her faith alive. Maybe in the beginning you were ambitious, driven, passionate. She saw you as a man with vision. But as years passed, you grew comfortable. You let go of the discipline that once defined you. You stopped chasing the very things that made her proud to stand beside you. And without realizing it, you started failing her tests. Not because you weren't capable, but because you stopped caring enough to show up with fire. Here's the brutal part. Women will rarely tell you directly when you're failing these tests. They don't sit you down and say, "I need you to lead again. I need you to inspire me. I need you to remind me why I chose you." Instead, they withdraw. They complain in small ways. They criticize details. And men, instead of hearing the message underneath, dismiss it as nagging or mood swings. But what she's really saying is this: "I don't feel safe believing in you anymore." That's not nagging. That's the sound of her heart closing. The practical reason she starts to dislike you is that she no longer trusts your strength. And here's the paradox. The more she pulls away, the more men retreat into comfort, distraction, or self-pity, which only makes her lose even more faith. It becomes a cycle of quiet failures that slowly kill the bond. And make no mistake, Every test you ignore becomes a wound she carries silently. And silent wounds always resurface later, sharper, colder, and far more dangerous than any loud argument. A woman never forgets the man you were in the beginning. The fire in your eyes, the way you pursued her, the way you carried yourself with energy, certainty, and hunger. That version of you is burned into her memory. And here's the psychological trap most men fall into. They think once she's chosen them, they can relax. They believe they've already proven their worth. But in her mind, the clock never stops ticking. She is always comparing the man you are today to the man you promised to be when she first gave you her heart. And when today's version doesn't measure up, disappointment begins to grow. This is why so many women, years into marriage, say, "He's changed." But what they really mean is, "He stopped being the man who inspired me." In the early days, you had vision. You were unpredictable, full of energy, chasing something bigger. She saw potential. She saw movement. She saw strength. But as time passed, routine replaced excitement. Comfort replaced hunger. And the man she once admired started to fade into someone she merely tolerated. And the more she compared the present you with the past you, the harder it became for her to feel that same rush of attraction. Here's the raw truth. Women are biologically wired to desire growth. They attach themselves to men they believe can carry them forward, men who can elevate their lives emotionally, spiritually, or materially. If you stop evolving, she feels trapped, like she's standing still, or worse, moving backward. And no woman wants to feel stuck. That's when she begins to not just lose attraction, but to feel a subtle kind of resentment, because to her, it feels like betrayal. You promised her a journey, and now you've parked the car on the side of the road and turned off the engine. The practical reason women start to dislike their husbands as they get older is that they no longer see the man who made them dream. They see someone who surrendered to life instead of shaping it. And while you might think she's being unfair, she's responding to something deep inside her, the memory of who you were. The harsher the gap between that man and the man you are now, the colder she becomes. And the most dangerous part? She won't always tell you this directly. She'll just look at you differently, treat you differently, and you'll feel the quiet distance growing like a shadow between you. Emotional detachment is the silent killer of relationships, and it's the stage most men don't see coming until it's already too late. When a woman begins to detach, she no longer fights, no longer argues, no longer demands your attention. On the surface, this might even look like peace, less conflict, fewer complaints, more quiet nights. But underneath, it's not peace, it's surrender. She's given up on trying to change you, and that's the most dangerous place a man can ever find himself in. Because when a woman stops caring enough to argue, she has already started building a life in her mind, without you in it. You see, dislike doesn't always explode. Sometimes it freezes. She stops seeking your touch. She stops confiding in you. She shares less of her inner world because she no longer sees you as the man who can carry it. And here's the hardest truth. Once she reaches this stage, she can live under the same roof as you for years, playing the role of wife, but emotionally, she is miles away. You're no longer her man. You're a roommate, a co-parent, a provider. And deep inside, she feels more alone with you than she would feel without you. That is the real breaking point. Men often confuse this detachment with stability. They think, she's not complaining, so things must be okay. But silence in a relationship rarely means safety. Silence means she has stopped believing in the possibility of change. And when that belief is gone, so is the foundation of love. Because love is built on hope. Hope that tomorrow will be better. Hope that the bond will grow stronger. Hope that the man she chose will keep becoming the man she admired. Without that hope, her heart begins to close. And once it does, reopening it takes more than apologies or promises. The practical reason women begin to dislike their husbands as they age is because they stop seeing you as a source of life, inspiration, and safety. Instead, you become a weight she carries, a reminder of what could have been. And here's the coldest part. Once she reaches detachment, she often starts seeking emotional fulfillment elsewhere, not always through another man, but through friends, work, hobbies, or even fantasies of freedom. And if you don't wake up to this reality, you'll one day look across the table at a woman who once adored you and realize she no longer sees you at all.